All right. So today was Automotive Day. Uh, Reporting to you from 3:08 in the AM, Friday, October 15th, 2021. I've got other things that are going to upload in sequence before I get to this, which means there will then be another vlog upload, I believe, after this, as tends to be my thing here to kind of bunch them up and then upload them in order while I'm driving. Because there's 5 bars in town and there's like a bar and a half out here, a signal. Got my spark plugs changed. That made a significant difference. Got the air filter changed. That was an excursion. I had to remove the. At first, I was just going to pull back the mass airflow from the airbox, take the airbox top off, and flip out the filter. But when I took out the old filter, I noticed that it was full of fiberglass and mouse nest. So I cleaned out. There's like a plastic webbing on the inside that is just part of the casting process that makes the outside smoother, but the inside's a little rougher. It's one of those things that function followed form, and when you get cold air intake or any other aftermarket intake, they specifically do not have this rougher inside. More turbulent air is really not good for the engine. It's just one of those things. Swirl is one thing, turbulence is another. And so, anyways, it took me a bit to get this done with the airbox, and I went about doing the serpentine belt, and come to find out the belt that I got was the one for the factory stock. I think they said it was 105 amp alternator, and there is a 130 amp one for electrical accessories and whatever. And the truck had a CB radio before I bought it. I don't think the radio came with it, or maybe there's one was under the seat at some point. But it still has this big old giant antenna on it. Obviously, they used it for hauling something, and they had a like fifth wheel in the back and large antenna on the front that I still haven't removed because it's just huge, and it's like that thing's probably energized as big as it is being out in magnetic field of the Earth. So it's one of those things where, like, your car radio antenna, if you disconnect it from your radio, you can ground out the antenna on the body of the car and it'll spark. It's kind of like that. I don't want to get zapped, so I haven't messed with it. Anyways, I got the serpentine belt off and then went to put the new one on, and it was a little too small because it turns out I have this other one. It has a different pulley size. So then I had to take the old belt, put it back on, and then put the air cleaner assembly back on, which meant finishing the job on scraping out all the stuff that I'd sprayed and let to soak to try and soften up the chunks of stuff. Pretty much got everything out of it. There was acorns and all kinds of other such in there. Got that thing back on, new filter in, put it all together, made sure there was no tools or anything in the engine bay, that everything was properly squared away, and then cleared all my tools back out of the way so I could then head to town to get a new belt. So then I got the new belt, put a little gas in the truck, came back. I believe I still have to do the belt tomorrow. At that point, I was just kind of getting hazy because it was like, man, shit, I still got time. I got to do this. So, anyways, then what the real news comes to is I got to doing the brakes, and with the gravel in the driveway the way it is and everything, it takes a little experimentation and positioning to get things right. It's a little time consuming. Got it all set up, ready to go. Got all the lug nuts off without incident, and then had to spray the penetrating oil all up in the little lug holes and whatever. It had been so long since I'd taken that driver's side wheel off that it attempted to weld to the brake disc. So I finally got that off using the 5-pound splitting maul sledgehammer end, and a good clonk, and it came off. Got that out. Got the caliper off very easily. Got the old pads out. Found out what I thought was a squealer scrape and was actually a little bit of plate. I think I might have to replace the caliper soon because one of the pistons was just a smidge. And so anyways, I went and got the replacements because I had these two sets of front pads. I looked up the part and everything, and it seemed like it fit, and, according to everything. And get out there, and it turns out they are for the 1500, not for the 2500. The difference is a 15-inch frame rim versus a 16-inch rim. And more specifically, the brake pads I have are this long, and the space for the brake pads in the old ones are this long. So at least an inch and a half of extra length. So basically, what I did was I took the worn down inner that was already starting to groove the disc. So I'm gonna end up getting a disc and a caliper at some point soon, I think. Thankfully, not horribly expensive or easy or difficult, I should say, to deal with. So basically, I had to put them back on so that I've got the outside pad on the inside and the inside pad on the outside, because the main pressure comes from the caliper piston side, which is the inside. Those always wear down faster. Inside will be the one that wears down and puts the grooves in, while the outside has still got a bit left and still has some braking power. It's just kind of one of those. There's a slight safety to it, even though that's not really why it was designed that way. But the inner one is where the piston tends to be, and so where the piston pushes in has more pressure than where it clamps against. So anyways, I flipped them and put everything back together and tightened it all back up. Basically, first thing when I wake up tomorrow, I've got to run, hit the bank, grab the money, get a set of brake pads, get back out here, get that done, because I have to work tomorrow night, and I am not driving on metal brakes delivering pizzas in that tank of a truck. No thank you. Please and thank you, no. So, that's tomorrow's mission, is to do that, make sure my serpentine's good, because that old belt was pretty worn. And other than that, just basically this weekend, my main thing is going to be keep gas in the truck, save up for the U-joints so I can get the four-wheel drive together on that. And once that is the case, basically just kind of start distributing money toward when I can afford to get an O2 sensor, get an O2 sensor until they're all swapped. Throwing some money at the property tax when I can, and saving up anything else. There's been some change to the schedule with the issues at work with people basically demoralizing everyone else, and basically the issue is that when one person gets greedy and tries to snag extra runs, and it's not just the fact that it's an extra run, but they know that this one's probably a good tip, you end up with somebody making $50+ more on a night than anybody else in their same scheduling class. And typically speaking, everybody makes about the same. So, there might be some variance. Someone might make 20 more, 30 more. It depends on if they got a superior tip. Sometimes people really throw you some good money. But the thing is that one person getting all of those and everybody else being like, where's all the nice tips tonight? Works out an issue. So that was the whole, had to put my 2 weeks in all this other stuff. So this week I only worked 3 days. But I am thankfully not on a closing shift with the person that I had to complain to the manager about, and they know to watch this guy. So it's been about a week since he started playing nice, but I've been gone the whole week, so we're going to see how that goes. But of course, when I get into work, it's going to be like, don't forget to watch that dude. Find out how the order of things has been going, because it's just one of those things where it seems like about every couple of weeks, maybe coincide with paychecks, maybe the opposite weekend where it isn't payday, seems to be when he really gets randy about trying to steal runs, and it really hoses everybody else, wrecks the morale and the mood of the entire crew. And the management ought to be doing something about it, but unfortunately in this case, the ownership of the franchise, the company itself, not the corporation, but the owner of the business here, has, I don't know who's informing him, if he's where the legal advice is coming from, but I'm not sure that it's accurate. But he's got something about people got this confusion about what at will and right to work employment laws actually mean. So anyways, yeah, we're gonna see how this works out as far as money goes. But anyways, yeah, I'll be fresh brakes and slightly more fuel efficient and better running vehicle. It actually ran a little bit quieter. That misfire was causing some kind of detonation. There's still something not right. And maybe I can, once I get this get that second O2 sensor on the driver's side exhaust pipe done. That if they're both reading correctly, the fuel adjustment should be correct, and maybe we'll actually work that out of the system. If it's not that, then I have to start looking into fuel injectors and ignition coils. And if that's not it, then I have to start looking into wiring harness. So, yeah, don't want to go there if I don't have to. I mean, I'm sure it's not horribly difficult, but... So, yeah, that's it for the, what I did today in automotive stuff. Got, an out-of-sequence Steve Bouquet update has already been uploaded, and basically kind of explained in the previous video that we'll have uploaded before this one, that maybe I mentioned the cat pouch in that one that I mentioned in the Steve OK update that I wasn't sure if I'd mentioned or not. It's tricky keeping the stuff together in your head when it's being uploaded in and out of sequence. Anyways, yeah, got some car stuff done. Truck is doing good. Some more car stuff due tomorrow real quick before work. Thankfully, just changing brake pads is a fairly straightforward and quick operation. The only real issue is safety and stability of jacking the vehicle up in the driveway, and if the passenger side wheel also tries to stay welded on. However, I've already checked the brakes about a month ago on that one, which means it's been a month since I took that wheel off. It's probably been 9 months or a year since I took the driver's side wheel off. That's why it was welded on. Aluminum alloy to the iron of the steel brake rotor. So yeah, I'll be able to do that stuff in the afternoon before I go to work, and then I think tomorrow I close. Saturday I'm late night. Sunday I'm rush, and then I think that actually was also though the schedule she had set up when my 2 weeks was still in effect. So we're gonna see what the next week holds as far as schedule. I'll find that out on Saturday. Meantime, not really freaking out. I've honestly enjoyed the 4-day week to have a chance to do some stuff around here and take care of my fur son. And, yeah, as long as I still get my Mondays off, I'll be happy. Use whatever other days I need. But, yeah, we're gonna see if we can affect some change in the environment at work, because, having to deal with somebody that's got a pathological issue, and it was funny. I'll tack this on at the end here and hope this doesn't turn into a freaking 29-minute video. The offending person in question, the last close that I closed with this person, was trying to be. Let me put it another way. There was no organization to anything. It was simply the fact that everybody was like fed up at the same time, and I was like, well, I'm gonna say something, and I did. And then other people started saying something. I didn't say, hey, go say something. So this dude is upset at the fact that we're stuck taking nothing but singles at a time unless we get so bogged down that we have to take doubles to get caught up. Otherwise, everything's going to be late and screwed up. There's limits to the logistics of running singles all the time. However, if you have low volume singles all the time, everybody basically averages better. Some people might not make as much because they like to really go out and hit that grind, and I get it, dude, but when there's no runs, right? So the other thing is, trying to be able to make that money and thinking we're going to go, stab out a bunch of runs and steal them, and then nope, not happening. It's enforced, it's locked down, this is what we're doing, okay. And it totally sucked, and at first it was, the first day that we did it, I got nothing but ghetto runs. I didn't make squat. I was very upset, and at the end of the day, I'd made considerably less than everybody else, and I was like, what is this noise? So obviously something was still not right. The next night, everything seemed to run smooth and fair. Everybody, by the end of the night, had a pretty good haul. Everybody was satisfied. Part of it then might have also been the quality of people that ordered on Friday versus Saturday. So anyways, this dude comes up and he's complaining about the fact that the singles and how dumb it is and whatever, and I'd said something to the assistant manager who I'd already had the complaint with, and we close all the time and we chit-chat and talk and whatever, and so, I think there's a little understanding there. And I said, well, what's up with all this and this? And he just kind of was like, well, that's just because some people apparently don't know how to be fair or whatever. And the offending person tried to walk around behind the guy after, he went out for a cigarette or something or whatever, and dude comes up to me while I'm doing dishes and says something about, oh, he says, we don't know how to do singles or whatever. And I was like, that's not what he said. He said that no, it wasn't that we don't know how, it's that we couldn't be trusted. It was specifically what he said was that some people can't be trusted to be fair. And I said, all right. And I said, well, you're going to hear me bitch about how little money I'm making by only, so I hammed it up, admittedly. So, anyways, this dude comes up to me and says, oh, he says we don't know how to take. I said, no. He says, can't be trusted. He's very specifically said, some people here can't be trusted. And then that guy just kind of shut the fuck up and walked away for a bit. The next night after that, he seemed in a little bit better, more chipper mood, but I don't know if this is because the rumor of my 2 weeks had finally gotten around and he thought, oh, sweet, one less driver, and that guy's been bitching about me stealing runs, and except that I'm not going anywhere. And, we're going to see after this weekend how, this Saturday, if his schedule gets further cut or whatever, see how he reacts. The only other thing I can see is if for some reason my schedule gets cut instead. Would not make any sense, and in which case, I wouldn't even want to venture to speculate. If you followed my videos for the last year and a half, 2 years, you know how I feel about the employment situation and the way things tend to go. And no, it is honestly not me. I'm not the one stealing runs. I'm just the one saying, hey, that's not fair. I'm losing money. Under no circumstance should a person be punished, guilted, or made to feel that they are in the wrong for saying, hey, something's not fair. We could all be making better money as a whole if one person wasn't taking it all from everybody else. There is nothing unethical or wrong or guilt-worthy about that, right? So we're going to see how it goes. But anyways, yeah, so when I do get to work, my ability, hopefully, to be on the ball, have the hustle and grind, if we get a good, busy weekend, I can just be in my truck more often than not and going places, doing things, jamming out, counting money. That is my plan for the weekend. By next week, like I said, hopefully I have my truck pretty much all took care of except for O2 sensors, slowly but surely getting there. And taking care of other things, and I don't know, man, you will see this video probably sometime around midnight on Friday. So here we are, almost 18 minutes.